All right, I'm back. Got some water. I main a Warden in For Honor, and they have a lot of reaction type attacks, if you want to put it in 5e terms. Like the main combat in the game is parrying. You think it's the actual attacks and everything, but it's the parries. It's the parry and what you do immediately following the parry if you can get one off. And the Warden specifically has a lot of unblockable attacks that come after its parry. So if you have one of the champions that if it gets parried, it can still attack fairly quickly immediately after, you're fucked unless you were prepared to do a parry yourself, because you can't block the attack and it's wide enough that you probably can't dodge either. So I wanted to make a boss encounter based on that style. Now I have somebody who I was creating lore wise for the setting already, but I hadn't like decided specifically how she was going to be put in, and I think lore wise she's gonna go here. For her notes, I have Iron Maids of the Spanish Inquisition and Marina Sacrificial Rites of Madagascar. I guess we're going Catholic, and I guess we're going Marathi. Aztec Catholicism. So a sword priest makes me think of the silent priestesses of the Andes. So let's Sister Caliph, the penitent blade. When the Empire's faith turned to the Radi, were conscripted to forge their devotion into war. Priestesses of the split veil, once midwives and healers. Oh, what am I doing? It's plural. It's a V. Midwives and healers. You fucking moron, Grim. Became confessors. Blades. High Sister Caliph was there. And dash. Her flesh engraved with penitent armor shaped from her own bone. She wanders the dune and temple ruin Aleka, reciting prayers to her old god, have been rewritten to imperial verse. Her duels, her sermons, her strikes, scripture. When her enemies swing in anger, she simply parries, turning their strikes against them. And I'm gonna plop it there. Medium, not a construct. Humanoid, lawful evil. This should be High Sister Caliph. You know, I'm gonna just leave it as High Sister Caliph. Save a little bit of room. Bone plate. She has 1 AC. You're guaranteed to hit. I'm thinking CR5 again. I want to drop this by like 10 HP. So maybe if we drop this to 8d10, this drops to 84. I'm not looking for this to be like a super hard encounter. I want this to be more of a random chance type encounter, but a pseudo boss at the same time. Like she's gonna hit hard and she's gonna be a pain in the ass to hit, but if you get a few good hits on her, she's down. She's gonna lower her strength a little bit. Want to make her dex like 14. Constitution, I think 18 constitution is good. Intelligence, let's bring that up to like 11. I'll come up here, control C, come back down here and control V into the code. A little bit wise. It's like 14 and plus that. Saving throws. I want to do strength, and we'll make that like a +5. Constitution was, you know what? I like the +6 and the +4 for constitution and wisdom. I think those can stay. We're gonna get rid of perception though. We're gonna make it athletics, and that's her proficiency bonus is gonna be +2, so 3 strength. So that's gonna be, yeah, that's the +5. Religion is going to be +4, and we'll give her her intimidation, and that's gonna be +4 as well. I want to keep bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical weapons, but I want to radiant and necrotic. We don't need damage immunities, we don't need vulnerabilities. I don't think she can be charmed or frightened, and we're gonna come down here, passive perception, we're just gonna make that 12. A Shaolin, neurotic, and we want to do draconic because those are for old gods. Already said CR5, and yeah, proficiency bonus is gonna stay 2 because we're at CR5. Let's see. Actually gonna delete all this so we have more of a clean slate to look at. I'm not going cross-eyed. I want to do extra reactions. I want to do more than one reaction. I want her to have a ton of fucking reactions. The whole point of this is to be a parry fucking nightmare monster. She's hard to hit, and when you do hit, she's already hitting back when you hit. That's what I want this to be. She's a fucking nightmare. I already said faith is her shield, so parry of faith. This is gonna be reaction and 3 per round. Okay, how do I want to word this though? When Aelith is hit by a melee attack, she can roll she can roll 1d20 plus 5. If the result equals or exceeds the attack roll, the attack misses. If it exceeds the roll by 5 or more, the attacker takes... This is gonna happen a lot, or at least I hope it happens a lot. I think 2d6 should be fine, so 7 2d6. We'll make this radiant damage. I want another reaction ability, and I want this one to be for if they miss. When a creature misses Aelith with a melee attack, she can make one attack against that creature with advantage, and this is also going to be reaction. We are not going to go 3 per round with this one. Control X, Control V. This is going to be a 1 per round. I only want her because they are going to be missing a lot, and I don't think it's fair. I think, but if they hit, retributive guard. We need another trait. The Penitent Blade. When Aelith is reduced to half her health, she stands her ground in holy defiance. For 1 minute, her AC increases to 20, and whenever she uses a reaction ability, she regains 5 hit points. A gentle nod to what I like doing with my undead. I like letting them heal. I really like using like undead, abominations, aberrations, monstrosities, but I kind of want to use more humanoids in this campaign, so I've got to find some creative ways to use my typical tricks and come up with some new tricks, because the party doesn't know it yet, but I think I'm going to use this on them after they finish the current campaign that I've made for them. Oh, you know what? I want to Race of the Penitent. That's what we're gonna call this. When Aelith is struck by a critical hit, she isn't. The wound closes with bone. The critical hit becomes a normal hit, and she gains 5 temporary hit points. Because if there's a rogue in the party, it would be smart for the party to send the rogue in first. And if they are an assassin, that is a guaranteed crit if they manage to get sneak attack. So I feel like she's turning out really, really mean for a CR5, even though her health is kind of low. Oh man, I'm loving this. I'm digging this. I'm vibing hard with this. I'm just moving that over because I believe I need to get into the actions. I mean, she's CR5. She's going to have multi-attack. Aelith makes 2 attacks. Aelith makes 2 attacks with her. Oh, what are we gonna call her attack? You know what? Penitent Blade. She and her sword are as one. She is the bone of her sword. She looked at her sword, said, I am thou, thou art I. Melee weapon attack. This is gonna be a +5 to hit. Reach is going to be 5 feet. I think I want to do like, I'm thinking like great sword, right? So I'm thinking 1d10 plus 3. So let's think. 1d10 is going to be 5.5 plus 3 is going to be 8.5, round down in favor of the party, so it's going to be 8. So on hit it's going to be 8, which is 1d10 plus the 36. Whew. 1d10 plus 3 slashing damage plus 4 1d8 radiant damage. I think that's good. I do want a recharge ability on her. If you can't tell, I love recharge abilities. We're going to use censure, and if anybody needs help remembering the words, censor with an O is your redacted information that's censoring. Censure is to be met with strong disapproval, and a censor with an E is one of the religious items that it's the little fumigation cage on a chain that they use for purification rituals. I think it's Catholicism. I don't remember. I got a lot of random stuff rattling around on this noggin, you know. Censures. I do want this to be a 5/6 recharge, so that's fine. Ayla raises her sword and calls for silence. We're going to make this an anti-magic zone. You thought you were gonna hit her with spells. Ain't happening. You said parry this, you filthy casual, and she said fuck you and your magic. How do I want to do this? Each enemy within sight must make a DC, let's see, she's a CR5, so it's going to be DC 14. I'm not going to be that evil. I'm going to make it 15 because I'm going to be a little evil. She's still a boss. And it's going to be Beastum. Saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes... I want to do 3d8. 3d8. 4.5 plus 4.5 is 9, plus 4.5 is 13.5. Round down in favor of the party, so that's going to be 13. 3d8 necrotic damage. And has disadvantage on... No. Takes 3d8 necrotic damage and cannot use verbal components or spells for 1 minute, because she wants them to come close and attack, because they're going to miss, you know. They're not the marshals, and even the marshals, they hit and they get hit back. On a success, they take half damage and are unaffected otherwise. Shoulder bash. This one isn't a recharge or anything. This is just you know what, I should move this up actually. Just thinking like one of the main things that you do with the Warden in For Honor is a shoulder bash, so I want to add a shoulder bash in. I'm just gonna steal this with either her penitent blade or shoulder bash, because that's a big thing that you do, because shoulder bashes break guard, which gives you a free hit, so that would be something that you would do a lot when you have the option. Makes 2 attacks with either her penitent blade or shoulder bash. Shoulder bash melee weapon attack +5 to hit. You know what, this is going to be a +4 to hit. This is going to be based on her dex. Reach 5 feet, 1 target hits. What's 1d8 plus 3? It's going to be 7.5, round down 7. So 7, we're going to just make this 1d8 plus 3 bludgeoning damage. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I want to, as part of this attack, Caliph may move 10 feet toward an enemy without provoking attacks of opportunity. And then she may move move 10 feet, but she doesn't have to move 10 feet in a straight line. I do want to put a modifier on that, so that the party doesn't just feel cheated. It has to be two contiguous squares. She can't move in a different direction mid charge, because that's what this is. This is like a charge, a shoulder bash. The target of the attack must succeed a DC 13 strength saving throw or be knocked prone. This attack be knocked prone. How do I remember? The target of the attack must succeed a DC 13 strength saving throw or be knocked prone. Additionally, failure of this check causes disadvantage on concentration checks. Just a double whammy, like, and she's driving the breath out of you, she's knocking you on the ground, you get knocked prone, but if you're concentrating on a spell, you have disadvantage on that concentration check now. You know what? I actually want to get rid of that. I think this looks good like this, so I want to have it this way. What did I do wrong? Oh, there we go. That's good enough for now. And I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with the bramble golem. I am going to come down here and boom. Oh nope, I don't want the picture of the bramble golem. I want to do tactics. I feel like doing tactics helps GMs, because like, oh yeah, such a cool monster, and then they'll go into it, be like, I see what the abilities do, I feel like I know what the abilities are supposed to do, but I don't know how to make them work. And I feel like providing tactics with a good monster makes it a great monster, even if it's low level. Immediately begins the battle with censure, pushing out negating the threat of spell casters. I know I called this a defensive loop last time, but I think she is going to loop as well. She uses fatal funnels in the terrain to her advantage to encourage duels, preventing splitting focus. That way she can like focus on one enemy at a time. She'll really fuck the party up too. But yeah, I think I don't think I need anything else. I think just adding in that little bit actually helps, because now they understand like the entire thing. Like, she gets multiple reactions when they hit, but she only gets one when they miss. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to goad in your big hitters with their multi attacks to hit. So if they miss, they get hit, but they're probably going to hit is what we want. So we want to get it to where she's only has to focus on them, which is where her shoulder bash is going to come in handy, because if she doesn't have a choice, she can knock you down and then retreat, so that she can get to a point where she can focus on one party member at a time. Like, this is gonna be a war of attrition. I kind of want to give her counterspell, like a once per day counterspell. Oh well, it would have to be old counterspell. I've got this worded in another project of mine from the past, back when I was still with Game Master Stash, before they started using AI for everything. Right here, Jabari Kamson. One of my favorite. Oh no, did I just do that? Wait, what just happened? Where did my shit go? Oh, what did I do? Oh, was I in the wrong thing? How long have I been in the wrong thing? Holy shit. Oh man. Like I was saying, kind of want to give her a counterspell ability. Something I used in previous. It was a warlock who was a werewolf. He was a warlock of a great old one. So there was an eldritch entity that took over him. His family were mages, and he tried to become part of the Third Order, and then the Third Order started hunting him, and he fell in deeper with his great old one, the Dogstar Sirius, and became an eldritch werewolf. And when he transformed, he became a big counterspell type monster that would rampage through, could only be affected by silvered weapons. This was one of his abilities, and I'm about to meddle with it and rewrite it for what I want to use it for here. Aelith has the ability to build up energy and counterspell as a defense. Aelith attempts to interrupt a creature in the process of casting a spell. If the creature is casting a spell of second level or lower, its spell fails and has no effect. It is casting a spell of third level or higher. Make an ability check using Aelith. Proficiency bonus is +2. DC equals 10 plus the spell's level. On a success, the caster's spell fails and has no effect. And I also believe that is the that is 5e counterspell. That's not 5.5e counterspell, which is unfortunate because I love counterspell. Absolutely adore it, whether it's being used on me or I'm using it. Counterspell is my bread and butter, and they ruined it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to make that wide now. I don't have a choice. No, greatsword is 2d6. I'm thinking longsword for 1d10. That being said, I do want to make loot, and it's going to be the penitence blade. Penitence blade. You know what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm gonna do. Longsword. I'm thinking rare. I don't think it's going to require attunement. A sword passed down by Maradi priestesses of the Lit Veil, master to student throughout generations. It doesn't need to be like super special with the description. I think that is actually good enough. Like you know that it goes from master to student, from master to student, from master to student, master to student. The blade hums with patience. You thought I was gonna say penitence. Properties. +1 to attack and damage rolls. When you are targeted by a melee attack, you can use your reaction to roll 1d20. If the result equals or exceeds the attack roll, you negate the hit and deal 1d8 radiant damage to the attacker. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put that in there, otherwise. You can use this feature 3 times per day. Instead of it regaining charges, it's gonna be a flat 3 times per day. Up here to the Bloodhound's Fang that we stole from Elden Ring, because I want to add drawback. The weapons magic is linked to the wielder's resolve. If you flee or surrender during combat, its enchantment fades for... Do we want to do it 24 hours? Yeah, we'll do 24 hours. Because of that drawback, it is going to have to require attunement. We don't have a choice because of the drawback. There is not enough room here, so we're just going to do that to kind of make it a little bit more pretty. And then we're actually going to come up here to where we have the weaponry. Kind of funny that all the weapons have wound up here because there isn't enough room for them. Kind of funny. And we're just going to put the penitence blade in here. This document is now 40 pages. There are a couple of blank pages. There's one page that I use to make my stat block for the thumbnails. I'm going to be creating a shell. So, I mean, technically it's 37 pages, but the document itself is 40 pages. We started this a month and a half ago. There she is. Would be a pain, a big old pain in the ass for a party. That being said, I do believe she is balanced for CR5. She's got such a low health pool, and she doesn't hit like a truck. She could hit twice with her penitent blade. She could crit twice with her penitent blade, and at level 5 a wizard could live through it. So that's not too fucking terrible. That's not bad at all. We've been going for 4 hours though.